Okay, good morning all of you. Today we'll be discussing about the friction with three blocks, then friction on vertical wall, then the friction with the belt. These are the things which I'm going to cover in today's class. Okay, fine. So now we'll start with the friction with more than two blocks. I'm going to start with three blocks. You can extend this concept for 4, 5, 6 also. Okay, these are the three blocks are there. This is mu and this surface is smooth. The values m1 1 kg, m2 3 kg, m3 2 kg. Let mu is equal to 0.2 will take it, or 0.5 will take it. The value of mu will be same at all the surfaces, means at between 1 2 and 2 3. So we have to calculate, find the maximum value of force F acting on block M1 for no slipping between the blocks. Okay, this is the condition given for us. Where the force is applied to the upper block. So maximum value of force F for which no slipping occurs between the blocks here. We had this particular numerical we did for only two blocks. No, now we have to extend that concept for three blocks. First, let's calculate the various forces that are acting that one. The normal reaction will take it. So this will be N1, the weight of this, and here N1. M2G, and this will be N2. This will be N2, M3G, and this is N3. First we'll calculate these values because they are needed for us for the calculation of friction. Now looking at the first block, N1 should be equal to N1 minus M1G equal to 0. N2 is equal to N2 minus N1 minus M2G 0. So therefore this should be N1 is equal to M1G. What is N2 is equal to? M1 plus M2G. Then N3 is equal to N3 minus N2 minus M3G equal to 0. Substituting value of N2, I'll get this is M1 plus M2 plus M3G. Like this, we'll get the normal reactions. Let's calculate the limiting frictions at surface 1, 2 and 2, 3. What is F1L? Now, before jumping into problem, I think we should have the limiting frictions, no, to cross check whether what we assumed is right or wrong. So they should be equal to mu N1. Value of mu 0.5. N1 is 10, so 5 Newton. Similarly, limiting friction at second and third surface. This should be equal to mu N2. 0.5. What is the value of N2 will be? M1 plus M2 40 Newton. This will be how much? 20 Newton will be F2L. I think these values are very important. In all our numericals, we'll be taking help of this data. Now, how to get the direction of friction? How to get the direction of friction? Initially, they are at rest. So when we apply force F, so all the blocks are at rest. When I apply force F, the block M1, what happens, starts moving. No, it will overcome inertia of motion. But what about M2, M3? They will try to retain inertia of rest, but because friction will activate. So definitely the M2 will oppose the motion of block M1. So therefore the friction should be like this. Similarly, the force will always occur in plane, the friction like this. This friction force, which is acting on the block M2, will try to shift the block M2 towards right, whereas M3, what happen, will oppose it. So what direction the friction by M3 on M2 should be? Should be in this direction. Then F2 should be like this. Okay, got the idea now how to get the direction of friction? No. Okay, after this, we have to, what was our goal? To find out the maximum value of frictional force. Okay, now let's ask a very logical question. So let's go back to the basic concept. As I keep on increase applied force, what conditions were arised? Then at one particular point, the slipping used to occur, no? Here I'll keep on increase this applied force. Then where the slipping will first occur between M1, M2 or M2, M3, we don't know that. I am asking you pinpointedly one question. With that only you can manage this particular numerical very easily. I'll keep on increase applied force. Then the friction, static friction, both at F1 and F2 will increase. Then when maximum force, when I apply it, where the friction will be limiting at 1, 2 or 2, 3 or at both, three situations are there. Because when you apply maximum force, so where do that particular slipping will occur?
At 1, 2.
You can't make a guess. You're supposed to solve problem, no? You should not make a guess. Everything has to be derived. Just by making guess is the wrong thing. We are supposed to analyze. So therefore, first what will happen? I'll do one thing. Total force acting on the system. Let me directly go for acceleration of system. So what are the equations we can write it? F minus. Let's assume that no slipping occurs at all surfaces. Accelerations, I'll give accelerations. Let A be the acceleration. Then this should be equal to M1A F minus F2 equal to M2E, then F2 equal to M3. If you add up all this, what is the acceleration you'll get? F by M1 plus M2 plus M3. What is the value of M1 plus M2, M3? So this will be 6, F by 6 I'll substitute. After substituting the values, 1 plus 3 plus 2. I'm ending up this one. So what is the acceleration equal to? F by 6 here. Next, what I do is like, I will straight away substitute. These are the equation 1, equation 2, equation 3. What I got, this is equation 4. I'll substitute equation 4 in 1. Substituting equation 4 in 1. The initial background, this much is what I think everyone you can manage. Here is what you have to analyze the problem. So I'll substitute the value of put 4 in 1. Let's end up with one equation, F minus F1 equal to, what is the value of M1? M1 is 1. This will be F by 6. So F minus F by 6 equal to F1. So what is F1 is equal to? 5F by 6. As I keep on increase applied force, what will happen to F1? Will also increase. As I keep on increase applied force, the friction force at 192 also will increase. So what is the maximum upper limit for F1, F1L? So this is what I'm making guess. I'm just trying myself, either I'm right or wrong. That's why I just put a one line. I'm going to split up this problem into three parts. This is the initial part. The first one, I'm making I'm assuming one situation. What is that? As I increase the applied force and one specific value, first I say that slipping occurs at 192. Slipping occurs at 192 means what happens? There should be limiting friction. So therefore here, this should be when the applied force becomes maximum. Then what about the friction here? Will be F1L. What is F1L equal to? 5 Newton. So this will be 5 is equal to 5 by 6 into F max. So F max I got 6 Newton. Is I'm right? So this what is I'm right? I have to check it. So therefore what I'll take help of the block like a M3 that one. If you apply force of 6 Newton. Don't blame me, sir. Why don't you give one formula so that we'll substitute, we'll get answer. I think that particular way of physics long back it's over. Now when I apply maximum force, so what is the condition now? Here I assume that FNL, I assume that no slipping occurs here. And let them move with an acceleration A. We'll calculate, what we'll do, we'll calculate this F2. If this F2 what will happen was less than F2L, then what I assumed is right. Got this? So what is the, if you apply 6 Newton force, what will be the acceleration of the system? I'll slide down. What is the acceleration of system? Acceleration equal to F max by, because everything, all the friction force will become internal. M1 plus M2 plus M3. So this should be equal to 6, 1 plus 3, 2. This is equal to 1 meter per second square. Let's calculate F2 value. F2 is equal to how much? F2 is equal to M3 into A. So this A dash I'll call it. So some of you will confuse with that A. Let me call A dash. Now what is value of A? What is value of M3? 2, no? What is acceleration A dash? 1. Look at now. I am getting 2 Newton. Look at now what is F2L? 20 Newton. But how much it is acting? 2 Newton, which is less than F2L. So what I assume now is correct, no? What I assumed is correct. So therefore, what is our maximum force for which no slipping occurs at any block? Means, sorry, I'll apply 8 Newton. Then slipping will occur at 1. But slipping will not occur at 2, 3. So therefore, what is our answer now? Our answer should be 6 Newton. Okay, now the problem begins like this. Sir, you assumed first that no slipping occurs at 2 and 3, then will happen at 1, will happen there about to slip, then you calculate F max. What happens if student assume that no slipping at 1, 2 and slipping occurs at 2, 3? The student may go like that also, no? Then you will get one answer. Then which answer will be correct? Okay, let's see that one. So what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to assume now, I'll put equation 4 in 3. Put 4 in 3. So what is equation 4? F3 equal to M3 into A. I'm substituting that one. So in place of, so when I substitute here, how much I'll get? F by 6. And what is value of M3? 2F by 6. So therefore, finally, how much will get? This F is equal to 3 F3. So I increase now the applied force, the frictional force. What is the maximum permitted value of This should be F2, no? What is the maximum permitted value of F2? What is the maximum permitted value of F2L? So when 3 into F2L. So what is F2L value? F2L is 20 Newton. Please, don't repeat. So 60 Newton, I got it. Okay, now earlier I brought 6 Newton, no? Now I brought 60 Newton, then which is correct? Let's check it. Now I'll go back to the thing. I'm going to apply the 60 Newton. What is the assumption? I applied 60 Newton on this. Then here the friction acting, I'll assume static. Then here what will happen? It should be limiting friction. The acceleration, let me call A double dash. What is A double dash? Should be equal to F max by M1 plus M2 plus M3. This will be 61 plus 3 plus 2. I'm getting this 10 meter per second square. Let's calculate the friction F1. Then this should be equal to F max minus F1 equal to M A double dash. What is the F max value? 60 Newton. F1 I don't know. M1 is how much? 1 kg. This is 10. So F1 equal to 50 Newton I'm getting. But what is the maximum permitted value of F1L? 5 Newton, no? No, is it friction possible? Is it friction? Can it be greater than limiting friction? Not possible, no? So therefore, not possible. What went wrong? When we applied maximum force, there was slipping between M2 M3. That assumption was wrong, no? What was the assumption? What was the assumption? For F maximum, slipping occurs at M2 and M3. Just slipping occurs. Or limiting friction, or the slipping again you'll get confused. For F max, limiting friction acts at M2 and M3, and static friction acts at M1 and M2. This was our assumption. But is it, did we got, look it clearly? What we assumed, this was the assumption we made. Is this assumption correct? No, went wrong, no? Assumption is not true. Okay, so finally, will you write 6 Newton or maximum force for which no slipping 6 Newton or 60 Newton? Please do clarify. This is the first problem. You can understand this, you can manage. Rest all, what all I ask, very easy for you. So what shall I take answer? Shall I take answer 60 Newton or 6 Newton? No, 6 Newton only, because what we assumed is wrong, no? Assumption is not true. In fact, what will happen? The friction what happen at 1, 2 happen should be static, but what we got, it was greater than limiting friction. So the assumption went wrong. So therefore, this cannot be the answer. This cannot be the answer. Are you getting this one? So whenever if they ask you maximum force now for more than two surfaces, this is the one. So what you should do, assume at one surface slipping, at other surface static friction, check it. If other surface where you assume static friction less than limiting, what you assumed is right. Just some, you can say, logical analysis what we are supposed to do here. Anybody, any doubt, you can clarify.
Sir, in the first case, F2 should balance F1, right?
F2 should balance F1. There you apply force, the system is accelerating, no? How they'll balance?
Sir, if we apply a force that is less than maximum value of static friction, then static friction will balance that force.
I don't know, you have to... Some simple idea. We applied a force. What is the net force acting on the system? Only Fmax, no? What is the state of M1, M2, M3? Accelerating, no? So now where is the question of rest of any block? All the blocks will be moving.
No,
All right.
for mass M2, sir.
Mass M2 only. See, like if M1 accelerates, then M2 should also accelerate, no? M3 should, all blocks are accelerating. All blocks are moving.
Between M1 and M2, there will be static friction. There is no relative motion.
See, if M1 moving, then M2 should also move, no? With respect to ground. So all the blocks are moving. I don't know, the very question itself, what happened, you are taking in wrong direction. When I apply that 6 Newton force, all the blocks are moving, then what happened? At maximum force, at M1, M2, what happened? Limiting friction will act, and F2 will be static. What is M2? Why M2 will be at rest? M2 is also moving, no? You can see F1L greater than F2. Check it. What is F1L?
So then it is not static friction, and it is static friction also.
F2 is a static, no?
Sir, if F1 is less than F2, then F2 should balance F1, right?
Are you not looking at acceleration, my dear? Look at acceleration. What is the state of M1, M2, M3? They're accelerating. So what makes M2 to accelerate? F1L should be greater than F2, no? What is the value of F2? Look at here. I think all the data is there. Something you got stuck with some idea. Come out of that one. F2 is how much? 2 Newton. F1L is how much? F1L is how much? 5 Newton. So 5 Newton is greater than 2 Newton. Yes. So M2 will accelerate.
So if they are accelerating, that means they move, right? So if they move, it is static friction only, right?
Oh, gone. I don't know. Like everything, what all I thought you put in dustbin. Huh? You go back to the basic ideas. When there is no relative motion, when A relative 0, friction acting is static. When A relative non-zero, friction acting will be kinetic. I think I have to write once again. Huh?
Sir, if it is static, then static will adjust itself when we apply a force, right?
Please listen to me. Analyze, then you can talk. Huh? If A relative 0, blocks will move with same acceleration. Friction acting, blocks, if A relative 0, blocks will move with same acceleration. Friction acting or static friction acts. I think yesterday this is what I tried my level best to impart, no? Static friction acts here. If A relative non-zero, then blocks move with static friction acts or no slipping occurs. A relative non-zero, blocks move with different acceleration, kinetic friction acts, and slipping occurs. We are not discussing a block kept on a ground. We are discussing about the two blocks, no? I think this is you have to come out of the topic of friction. Here we are discussing about the block upon a block. For a block on block, I told you, we are going to encounter a different situation. If A relative 0, friction acting will be static and no slipping occurs. And blocks will move with same acceleration. If A relative non-zero, if there's relative acceleration, then the friction acting will be kinetic. So static means the block should be at rest, need not know, there's not a necessary condition. We have discussed yesterday so many problems.
Sir, if static friction exists between M1 and M2, then it should balance that force F1, right?
I don't know, Pa. Yesterday we have discussed so many things. Yesterday you were absent or present?
Present.
Then yesterday's discussion, I'll take it for you. You are supposed to revise yesterday's things, no? Without revising that, coming to the class. Without revising. Okay, look at this. What we did. Look at here. Both the blocks are moving, no? Then what friction is acting? Come for here. Look at this one. F equal 24, slipping occurs between the blocks. Now, if I apply 4 Newton, okay, I think you have enough thing. I applied 4 Newton. Yeah, that's it, I think, yeah. Applied here, what is the maximum force acting on the blocks for no slipping occurs? So I got this value, something say 50 Newton. If I apply less than 50 Newton, both will move and the friction acting will be static, no? So static friction acting means, doesn't mean that the block should be at rest here. Need not, that's not a necessary condition. Look at this. Yesterday we discussed, no? Yeah, come for this at least. F equal to 8 Newton I applied. I think the first content is missing some, did not save. I applied here, what happened? 50 Newton. If I apply 5 Newton, what will happen? Blocks. Then also they'll move. They'll have same acceleration and the friction acting will be static. Okay, got it? Static friction act means blocks need not be at rest, no? Okay. Please do revise yesterday's content. Without that, not possible. Huh? Okay, fine. There is no core idea. There's a core idea is that assume slipping occurs at one surface, no slipping occurs at other surface. Where the no slipping occurs, if the friction acting there is less than limiting, then what you assumed is wrong. What you assumed is correct. Then where you assume that no slipping, if there the friction acts more than limiting, then what you assumed is wrong. All of you? What is the basic idea? If you apply a force on 3 blocks, there are 2 surfaces are there. So to get that maximum force open, you are going to assume limiting friction acts at one surface, at other surface, static friction acts. Then get the answer. So solve the problem. 6 Newton you got. To check whether you are right or wrong, what you should do, where you assume static friction acts there what you have to check it. Is it really that F2 is less than limiting? If that F2 is less than limiting, then what you assumed is right. If the where you assume static friction, but there if the friction acting is more than limiting, then the assumption is wrong. This is what happened here. You can see now. We assume what happened? Static friction acts between M1 and M2. Then if static friction acts at M1 and M2, then if you calculate F1, it should be less than F1L. But how much we got it? Something 50 Newton. So greater than limiting friction. So therefore, the assumption went wrong. So therefore, this cannot be the answer. I'll give one more problem. Some core idea, some of you are losing the core idea. Static friction acts, blocks should be attached. Come out of that. We are not discussing the first, we are at the end of the chapter. Here what happens between two surfaces, if A relative 0, if two surfaces are accelerating, A relative 0, static friction acts. Got the idea? Please, this you tell 1,000 times, 1 crore times. You accept this, recite it, by heart it, remember it. If two surfaces are accelerating, if the relative acceleration is 0, the friction acting will be static. If two surfaces are accelerating, if the A relative non-zero, the friction acting will be kinetic. Finish over. I'll take the next, the same thing. I'll apply force on the directly. Let me take a problem. So since your assumption or all that you are finding difficult. See what all yesterday I think I made clear. Please, you have to carry on things. So I applied a force here. I don't know values. So M1 I'll write 2 kg, M2 3 kg, M3 4 kg. Let mu be the 0.1. I applied 4 Newton force. Let this be mu and let this also be mu. Now where we applied force to the second block here, 4 Newton applied. I'm just asking you, find the acceleration of the blocks and the friction acting at all surfaces. Now first, that is straight away. First, let's calculate F1L. What is F1L? Mu M1G. Directly I'm writing it to save time. Mu is 0.1, 2 into 10, 2 Newton. What is F2L? Mu into M1 plus M2 into G. See, I think I thought everyone is very familiar with yesterday's concept. Then I started this. I wanted to go to Pathfinder. But the way you are asking doubt, I'm a little bit, I'm scared to take you to the higher level problems. Still some clarity is not there. F2L is equal to how much? 5 Newton. So these are the values which we needed. No problem. I'll try my level best to impart simplified approach. As we do 2-3 problems, you'll get that core idea. Don't bother. Don't get scared. You trust your teacher. Definitely what happened. By the end of this 2-3 problems, now you feel very comfortable. Any problem asked, you can manage. Okay, I applied 4 Newton. Tell me like what we are going to assume first. What is the best way of assuming? That slipping occurs at all surface, shall I assume? No slipping occurs at all surface, shall I assume? I'll give opportunity. You can suggest me the idea. Anybody is free to talk now. What is the best way of assuming things? No slipping occurs at all surface. Then we'll calculate acceleration of blocks. We'll calculate friction acting, static friction at all surfaces. We'll check that static friction is greater than limiting friction. If that were happened, then what we assumed is right. If the static frictions at surfaces, what we assumed there will calculate. If any one surface or at both the surface, if they were greater than limiting friction, then what happened? The assumption what we did is wrong. Are you getting the idea? No? So what we have to, what is the question? Find acceleration of blocks. No, how to get the direction of friction? The friction here will be, we'll assume F1. Here will be F1. This will be F2. This will be F2. Okay, fine. So now let's assume that no slipping occurs at all surfaces. That's one assumption I'll make it. Sir, why you are assuming? Say I have to start problem, no? Always let's better to start no slipping occurs at all surface. So let's assume, I'm not sure whether I'm right or wrong, but I'm going to cross check it. let's assume no slipping occurs at all surface. This surface is smoother ground. No slipping occurs between the blocks. Now, what is the total acceleration of the system? What is the net force acting on system? F by m1 plus m2 plus m3. F is how much? 4. This will be 2, 3 plus 4. This will be 3, 9, 4 by 9 meter per second square. No problem. Just keep it here. No. Let's assume. I think I'm means the teacher himself is not sure that actually slipping occurs or not. But I'm going to just carry on. I'll verify things whether what I assumed is right or wrong. Got it? No. Now let's directly come for F1. What is the permitted value of F1? 2 Newton. So who will accelerate the block? We will accelerate the upper block, the friction only. So therefore, what shall I write? F1 equal to M1 into A. Now, what is value of M1? This is 4 by 9. 8 by 9 Newton. Can you say anything about this? Less than F1L, no? It is in fact less than F1L. So slipping occurs at 1, 2. No slipping occurs. So what I assume that no slipping occurs at blocks at 1, 2, no slipping occurs is what I'm correct. So what is the conclusion I should make it? Therefore, no slipping occurs at M1 and M2. Got it, no? So because of this, I'm writing that one. Let's check for again F2. We'll accelerate the block M3, the frictional force only. So therefore here F2 equal to M3 into A. What is value of M3? 4. Acceleration 4 by 9. This is how much? 16 by 9. 16 by 9 definitely is what? Less than F2L. How much you'll get? This will be around 1 point, no? So what is the conclusion now? Therefore, here also. No slipping occurs at M2 and M3. I think two of you, Anish and Ramachandra Reddy, both of you asked a doubt. Okay, now look at the friction acting, static or kinetic? This F1, F2 are static or kinetic?
Static.
F1 and F2 are static. I'm really, it's my duty to really clarify the doubt because you didn't got it. I will make you that one. F1, F2 are static. Tell me like M1, M3 are rest or in motion?
Motion.
Motion. So friction acting is static. So will you justify that static friction acts block should be at rest?
No, sir. Actually, relative motion is observed when it is static friction. But we have doubt that static friction's nature is it adjusts itself.
Fine. Yeah, here also I'll make it 3 Newton. The static friction again F2 will adjust itself to some other value. But block M3 will be at rest. I think totally wrong concept. Am I right? It's a static friction. It will adjust itself. See, block will be all blocks are accelerating as you vary applied force. What will happen to this F1, F2 should vary. And the block solvent will be there. As long as there's no slipping, as the friction acting will be static, and as you vary applied force, F1, F2 also will vary. Got the point? No? I think I explained it very systematically. Any doubt you can clarify further. That's really what they asked was a very good doubt, so that it will benefit total class. I just took a problem to clarify that particular doubt itself, this question. Anybody doubt, you can clarify it. So what is the thing now? What we have to conclude here? So what is the conclusion? So I'll write conclusion so that it will be easy for you what you are saying. Conclusion: all blocks move with same acceleration, that is a relative zero, and the friction is static. Is that okay now? Still anybody having doubt, you please clarify so that I'll move to the next problem. Anybody having doubt?
No, sir.
Fine. Okay, now we will do one thing. 4 Newton I gave it, no? Let me give, this is 18 Newton. The same problem, because y2 again, so the same situation. Let me apply force of 18 Newton. Then we'll see that. Somehow what happened, you have to understand that core idea. So once you get that clarity, no, I think you can manage very comfortably here.
Yes, sir. Got, sir.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, sir.
Now I'll give really very good tricky situation. Let's see that how you analyze. See, please clarify the misconceptions. I'll not let it be. If I want, I'll take class in the evening. If I want, tomorrow we have one more class. If that is not possible, we'll take extra time, we'll clarify it. So it's your right to clarify doubt. But don't ask which is not related to syllabus, because I don't know much about other things other than physics, because I confine myself to physics. No, now the same values, the same values: m1 2 kg, m2 3 kg. The mu is 0.1, and this is smooth. Find acceleration of blocks and the friction at all surfaces. Find acceleration of blocks and friction at all surfaces. How the friction? As usual, again the friction will be like this: F2, F2, this F1. No, what are the limiting values of friction? The same data: F1L 2 Newton, F2L 5 Newton. All of you, please do attempt. This was what we have calculated, not given. Looking at this one, there's the information. Now again, how you are going to start the problem? We just assume that there's no slipping at all surfaces. The friction acting is static. Then we'll calculate the static friction. We'll compare with F1L. Less than F1L, what you assumed is right. Greater than F1L, what you assumed is wrong. So let A be the acceleration of the blocks. And then what is the acceleration is equal to? Net force by, because this F1, F2 will become internal. M1 plus M2 plus M3. 18, 2 plus 4 plus 3. 2 meter per second square. Okay, now what we have to do? We have to cross check whether what we assume. What was our assumption? No slipping occurs at all surface. So I'll directly come for F1. F1 equal to M1. What is M1 value? 2 into 2. So how much it is? 4 Newton. So what is the conclusion now? Therefore, no slipping occurs at M1, M2. Let's similarly calculate F2 equal to
Where F1L we got 2 newtons in the previous one.
for 4, no, here M1 is how much, 2 kg, acceleration is how much, 2, no?
Sir, for F1 is greater than F1L.
F1L is how much, 2 Newton, no? Oh, yeah, this is I think F12 5 Newton, no? I wrote 20. Yeah, thank you for correction. Yeah, come for this now. This is, I think, greater, no? So what is the conclusion? What you are going to make it? Slipping occurs at M1, M2. Therefore, next F2 equal to M3 into A. M1, M2 values. M3 4 kg, no? This one. M3 is, this will be 4 into acceleration 2, 8 Newton. This will be, I think you have to be really very careful here. So here slipping occurs at M2 and M3. Okay, is there any possibility, say like this what happened here? Is there any possibility that slipping occurs at 1, 2 and no slipping occurs at 2, 3? Can be no. So there are, I think, how many things are there? First, no slipping occurs at all surface. So the idea of, so what was the assumption? No slipping occurs at all surface. In fact, slipping occurs at all surface. What we got it. So therefore, this will be wrong, or what we assumed is right or wrong now. It's a wrong. So what is the next option possible? So is it possible that, so one more, just cross check. So this is second thing. Second assumption. What is the second assumption I'll do? Slipping. I think I need not to go for other thing, no? So directly straight away I got this. So is there any necessity of going for other assumption? If you want to try it, slipping occurs at 1, but no slipping occurs at 2 and 3. Verify it. Again there, if you get F12, then finally you can come back to the same situation. So one more thing, I'm not sure what will happen. Slipping occurs at 192 and no slipping at M1, M2 and no slipping occurs at M2 and M3. This is what assumption, no? And what is the year we have started? What is the assumption? What is the assumption? No slipping occurs at blocks. What happened to your assumption? Assumption is wrong, no? Conclusion? Assumption is wrong. I started one more second assumption. What is the second assumption? What is the second assumption? Slipping occurs at M1 and no slipping occurs at M2 and M3. Let's check whether I am right again here. M1. See, you have quite independent for you to assume whatever you want, but you have to cross check. So here slipping occurs. So therefore I'm writing F1L, F1L. No slipping occurs, F2 and F2. So FNL, so we know FNL is equal to how much? 2 Newton. So here acceleration FNL equal to M1 A1. So acceleration of this block will be A1. And these two blocks, they'll move together with common acceleration A23. So what is F1? So FNL is 2 Newton. M1 is how much? 2 kg. So therefore acceleration A1 is equal to how much? 1 meter per second square. Now I assume like this. Either I'm right or wrong, I'm going to cross check myself. Either I'm right or wrong, I'm going to cross check it. So what was the applied force? 18 Newton. Then what is A23? A23 should be called, the F2 will become internal. F minus F1L M2 plus M3. 18 F1L2 M2 plus M3. 3 plus 4. M2 3, that is 4. Okay, 18 minus 2 will be 16, 16 by 7. Let me check the value of F2. So what is F2? F2 equal to M3 into A23. M3 is how much? 4 into 16 by 7. Anybody value?
So 9.1.
9.1.
9.1 Newton, which is greater than F2L, no? So therefore, what you can assume here? Slipping occurs at M1, M2 and no slipping occurs at M2 and M3. What we got? It is, what is F2L value? 5 Newton, no? We got greater than 5 Newton. So what is the conclusion we can make it? This second assumption also wrong. Assumption, conclusion. Assumption is wrong. So tell me, like, finally, what you are going to conclude. Slipping occurs at all surface. Got the idea? This is, so what you assume, cross check with friction. So shall I tell you one thing? It's all about, first, whenever you get a block upon a block, first what you should calculate, the limiting friction you calculate. Once you get limiting friction, then what you want to assume, you just assume it. But don't assume that M1 will move towards left. M1 will move towards left. M2 will move up. Something practically possible things what you have to assume. I think that you need common sense. Got this? So the same problem I just shown for different cases. No slipping, whereas slipping occurs. Means like a now I want a situation where M1, M2 slipping occurs, M2, M3 no slipping occurs. Yes, you can assume some 8 Newton and check it. I'll give you the numerical. You try on your own. Okay, we'll do one thing. Shall I? Is it okay? Shall I go for next topic or?
Okay, sir.
All of you.
Yes,
So 3 blocks. Can you manage? I'll give few. You try it. I'll give few problems. Try them.
Sir, in the previous question only, there will be another assumption, like we could have another assumption that there will be the case which you told third, sir. Yes, sir.
What is your question?
Sir, here only there could be another assumption that there will be no slipping between M1, M2 and slipping between M2, M3.
Okay, assume that and verify it. So what are the possibilities here? No slipping at all surfaces. No slipping between the blocks. First assumption. Second assumption, slipping occurs at all surfaces. Third assumption, slipping at 1, 2 and no slipping at 2, 3. Fourth assumption, slipping at 2, 3 but no slipping at 1, 2. So 4 ideas, 4 assumptions are there. You can verify all 4. At least in that one will be correct. So how do I can check which is right or wrong? You are going to take help of friction. All of you got the method?
Yes, sir.
Finish short. Let whatever the question, let them ask. As you just carry on with this. So many blocks, again the method is same. As number of blocks increases, you have to work out more. That's all here. 3 blocks, 4 blocks come, you have to work out more. So still, you do have questions like this also. One more will take it. Where if I apply force, now this idea, what happened, you have to start applying for any number of blocks. Let mu equal to 0.2. I applied a force F1 equal to say 2 Newton, F2 equal to 6 Newton. So this is rough. This is rough. So we have to calculate acceleration of blocks and the friction acting at all surfaces. So here, look at this. I brought 2 forces. Huh? Don't think that only one force will be there. Even I can apply force on all 3 blocks also. First calculate limiting frictions. Then you assume one situation and carry on. Okay, first limiting frictions, F1L. F1L should be equal to mu m1g 0.24 Newton. Similarly, F2L mu m1 plus m2 into g 0.25 10 Newton. What can be possible direction of friction? That will be, you look at block F2, that one. So I'll start with like this. I think this will be troublesome for you, sir. Here 2 Newton is acting. The friction should have been here. The friction should have been here backward. I'll solve it if I get F1 negative, the frictional force negative. Then I change the direction. Okay. So we should be ready for that also. By chance, if the friction comes negative, no, what you assumed is opposite to the actual direction. Because we are not very sure now in what direction that frictional force between block M1 and 2 will act here. So let's assume in one direction and carry on. What is the first assumption? We'll start with assumption 1. Always it's a practice that no slipping occurs. Assumption. No slipping occurs between the blocks. This is the first assumption. Then we'll assume that let A be the acceleration. What is the net force acting on system? F1 plus F2. Divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3. F1 F2 plus 6, 2 plus 3 plus 5. 8 by 10, 4 by 5. Now we'll cross check one by one. First, I'll check the F1, that one. So acceleration of the F1 plus F1 equal to M1. We know applied force F1, how much it is? 2 Newton. The frictional force we don't know. M1 is 2. This is 4 by 5. Anybody value? F1 will be?
Sir, minus 2 by
Minus
2 by 5.
2 by 5 or 0.4 Newton. What do you mean by negative? And it is less than F1L. This is very important. Check it now. So what we assumed friction was opposite. I just brought this problem so that you can understand. So don't get scared. It's a negative answer. Something went wrong. No. Later on, in the end, we'll change the direction of friction acting on the blocks. I got less than F1L. So what I should conclude? No slipping occurs at M1, M2. No slipping. Therefore, no slipping occurs at M1, M2. And now after this, I will go for the checking F2, that one. F2 equal to M3 into A. What is value of M3? 5. Acceleration is how much? 4 by 5. 4 meter, 4 Newton, I'm getting it. So which is less than F2L. So what does it mean? No slipping occurs at M2 and M3. So what we assumed is right or wrong now? Yes, it's right. Only the direction of friction will change.
Sir, so only the direction of friction.
Friction, you have to change it. Final. I'll conclude here now. So what is the conclusion now? So the conclusion, we are going to make it here. What is the conclusion? The conclusion will be like this. The friction, we assumed it, so it should be like this. F1, this F1. There's no change with this friction. And all will have same acceleration. No relative motion between the blocks. F1 and F2 are static. Okay, got the idea? So now you do one thing, change F1 4 Newton, F1 4 Newton, F2 or F1 2 Newton, let it be. F2 you make it 12 Newton. Verify as you increase the values, you check it. Okay, and I'll go for next set of problems. We'll discuss problems on friction on vertical surface. Friction on vertical surface. So here I'll keep a block. There's a wall. First, let me start with a small basic one. There's a block. That surface is rough. Now I'll apply an horizontal force. I'll press the block against the wall. Then here the weight mg will act. Then a normal contact between them. The wall will exert force. In turn, what happens? The block will exert a force on the wall. Then I see that the block is at rest. So somebody should balance weight. That is what the friction. And the friction by the block on the wall will be like this. Then what should be the minimum value of F for which the block will be at rest? Minimum I asking. Find the minimum value of F for which the block will be at rest. And then we'll provide normal contact. The normal contact is given by n minus F equals 0. So n equal to F, that one. Then for the friction to balance, F is equal to mu n. So this will be mu F. Then the friction should balance mg for equilibrium. So what is value? This will be mu F minus mg equals 0. So what is F equal to? Mg by mu. I'll call this as minimum. If you apply force less than this, the block will slide down. If you apply force more than this, will block will slide up? No. Because what is the maximum permitted value of the friction? Friction cannot be greater than mg. So here I'll put condition that one. F greater than or equal to mg by mu, block will be at rest. F less than mg by mu, block slides down. So now this will be really little bit confusion. As I increase applied force, so n will increase, then the friction can be greater than mg. On paper, mathematics okay, justify that. But practically, you press how much of R you want, the block will never slide up. You can try in your home, take some compass box or notebook, no? Press against the wall. As you press this against the wall, as you apply some minimum force, it will be at rest. Less than minimum, it starts sliding. Once as you press hard, it can never move up. It can never slide up. But mathematically what it says, according to this equation, as you increase capital F, then the friction force will increase. Then the friction force can be mg and it slide up. Okay, on paper, everything fine. But practically what happens, you press how much of R you want, the block can never slide up here because the friction cannot take the value greater than mg. What is this about the equilibrium? So there's a minimum force, I'm telling that one. So as long as your force applied is greater than or equal to mg by mu, block will be at rest. Less than, it will slide down. But no question of sliding. Got it, no? So this is about pressing. If you want, you can try now only. Just press the notebook against the wall and check it. You press with a force, a little bit less force, and slides down. Then at one force, it will be balanced. Further, if you press hard, it will not slide up. Now, if I apply force at an angle, now what are the conditions for this? So we applied a force at an angle. So what are the forces they'll be acting? Mg. I'll give another diagram. The weight mg will act. The component of the applied force. So here the friction and the friction on the wall. The normal contact. This will be N. This will be N. This will be how much? F sine theta, and this will be F cos theta. So what is the normal contact? It will balance it by n minus F sine theta equal to 0. So what is friction? Mu n. F equal to mu F sine theta. Then for vertical equilibrium, F plus F cos theta minus mg equal to 0. Let me substitute value of F. This will be mu F sine theta plus F cos theta minus mg equal to 0. This should be mg by cos theta plus mu sine theta. If I apply force, so there are definitely two situations are there, no? If F cos theta, I brought the value of F. If F greater than less than, I think the direction of friction can change here. Its possibility is there, no? What we assumed is there's a minimum force, I'll put it. Then similarly, if maximum force, if I apply it, I think I'll start with the minimum. Let me put condition this minimum force. The block, what happens, somehow what happens, I can retain it. If I increase the magnitude of force, then what is the direction of friction? Let it be like this. This is the minimum force. Now I'll keep on increase the magnitude. Then at one specific value, the friction will change the direction. The friction will change the direction. So you can see both the cases. Now I'll apply maximum force. Then the equivalent thing. The friction here, I'll change the direction. This will be mg. Both the conditions I brought at one place, do make observation. And then what about the normal contact? This will be n. This will be n. What is this force? F max sine theta. And what about this? F max cos theta. What is n? N minus F max sine theta equal to 0. So then along y-axis, F max cos theta minus mg minus F equal to 0. And I'll solve it here. So this F max minus mg. What is F is equal to mu n. What is n equal to? F max sine theta. So value of F max equal to mg by F max cos theta. This is a F max cos theta. So this should be cos theta. Now why I should call maximum? You can see denominator negative sign. Here it was positive sign. Are you looking at this? Both the conditions I brought it here. If you apply force greater than F max, the block will slide up. If you apply force less than F minimum, the block will slide down. As long as the force is between F max, F minimum, the block will be in equilibrium. You can say this one. So when you apply force at an angle, then the maximum minimum idea will come into picture. Okay, this is about the friction. So let's go for, if there are, I can apply force in not only this, I can apply in even in Some other directions, no? Just do make observation. I'll bring the different cases here. Huh? Completed. So I'll go for next one. Let me define the coordinate axis system. X, I'm going to apply a force. F is equal to minus 4 I cap plus 6 K cap. So I'll write here a force F equal to minus 4 I cap plus 6 K cap is acting on block of mass M is equal to 2 kg as shown. The surface is rough with mu 0.3 kg. The surface between block and vertical wall is rough with mu 0.3. We have to calculate find the frictional force acting on the block. Even the direction also is asking us to mention. You do one thing, this is something very easier. You take some box rather than notebook, no, little bit some box, you take it, press against a wall. There are two forces are acting. Tell me, what is that minus 4 I cap? It will act, I'll be pressing it now, I'll give the two diagrams, at least, see it's a three-dimensional. Whenever three-dimensional comes, it'll be very difficult to draw the three-dimensional. What you should do, you have to convert into plane diagram again. So convert this problem into two parts. Try to observe this from two planes. One, let the diagram be in XY plane. If the diagram is in XY plane, so this will be the X component of force. So what is F bar? F bar is minus Fx plus Fz K cap, no? This force, can I also write it in another way? F equal to minus 4 I cap plus 6 K cap. Can we write it as this will be quite easy for you. Then what are other things we can, what all we can notice here? Weight mg, there will be a normal contact nx, This will be Nx. So don't go for friction. You just wait for friction here. This is the thing. So now I had to show that Fz also, no? To show that Fz, so you do one thing, take block like this. Let in YZ plane, let the block, what is this diagram? The first diagram, block in XZ plane. So in, sorry, XY plane. Similarly, let this like a diagram, YZ plane. In YZ plane, so this will be the background will be wall. So either in any plane or plane, the weight mg will be acting along y-axis. Tell me like where that force Fz here to show. So here, sir, what are the coordinate axes? How the coordinate axis? I'm telling this is the this will be the y-axis. Yeah, this will be the xy plane. Huh? What you are seeing that one. No, YZ plane. So which will be y-axis? The above is y-axis and this will be z-axis. Will I agree this? It will be the, so mg should act along negative y-axis according to this one. Mg should act along negative axis. Tell me where that Fz force, the Z component of force should be here, no? Sir, Fx, Fz in same direction, no. I think you have to be very careful. How the friction will act here. Tell me here, what is x-axis? X-axis will be out of the plane. Here, Fx will be into the plane. I'll be pressing this Fx here. What is the duty of Fx? Fx will provide normal contact. So we will determine now the direction of friction. Whenever three-dimensional comes, you have to convert into plane diagrams. So make that problem into two parts. Now, because of Fz and only mgx, how friction should act? Friction should act vertically down. Only Fz should act along positive axis. Because of Fz and mg, the friction will take direction like this. Background will be wall. There'll be a wall. That wall, I'm not showing it. Somebody is asking, sir, where is the wall? This will be the wall. How many of you have patience to really draw such diagrams? So why I'm suggesting like this is, why I'm forcing you, because tomorrow you are going to become engineer, and what you have knowledge, if you don't express, you'll not become successful. So therefore it's your duty to put it in such a way that anybody sees, no, they should understand. Otherwise, you are a good thinker, but you don't know how to express knowledge. So you'll not become successful engineer. So these are the problems what the students nowadays they're facing. They have good knowledge, but they're not successful. They have good knowledge, but they are not successful. The reason is the presentation. Let me take this is theta. Okay, fine. Okay, let's come for that one. Find the frictional force acting on the block. I'll assume that block will be at rest. Let's check it. I'll assume that block will be at rest. Now, we will provide the normal contact. We will provide the normal contact. The fx equal to, so I'll write down all the equations. So this will be nx minus fx equal to 0. So what is the normal contact? What is the fx value? 4 Newton. So nx equal to 4. Then how much of frictional force? What is the maximum limiting friction? Maximum limiting friction should be mu NL, no? Mu NX. What is the value of mu? Mu we are given 0.3. N equal to how much? 1.2 Newton. I'll change this value a little bit. Let me make higher value. All of you just notice here, I just changed the value. 10 I made it. So that some concept you can understand clearly. So this will be how much? 3 Newton. I made the value of Fx equal to 10. Just I made some changes here also. Okay, let's come for this one. This is the limiting friction, we got it. I'm asking you, find the friction force acting. Tell me like, what is this friction force? One component will balance Fz. You must see the diagram after drawing this much only. If you ask it still, I'm helpless. You should have that minimum knowledge of 3D geometry.
Sir, on solving, we'll not get the answer, sir. I mean, mass won't
wait.
be.
I changed the value of Fx, no? 10 Newton I made it. F sine theta should be equal to mg. The component of friction, this will balance mg. So now F should be equal to, I'll square and add up this. Fz square equal to mg square. What is Fz? 6 square. What is the value of m? Mass of the block 2 kg. So this will be 20 square. So 20.4 Newton I'm getting. But how much the friction, that is, it is greater than FL, no? Tell me what should do now. Block will be at rest or will slide. It will slide along the wall. Block, in fact, block slides along the wall. It will start sliding because friction force, what will happen? Here, how much maximum permitted? 3 Newton only. But how much we are getting? So something value like this. So this is not permitted. This is not permitted. So therefore, open the block, in fact, is going to slide here. So what is the value of friction? It will adjust itself to 3 Newton. So what is the conclusion will you make it? Friction force will be 20.4 Newton or it will be 3 Newton. It will be 3 Newton only. Anybody wants to clarify?
So, but then direction?
You come for that. Mg is how much? 20 Newton. Mg is 20 Newton. Then what is Fz? Fz is how much? 6 Newton. So the resultant of this force, how do it act? That you have to calculate. Then opposite to that, this limiting friction will act it. This is the only cross check what we assume. We assume that, okay, this one I got the friction force acting in this much. So after this, what I should do? The resultant of mg and fz I should calculate. Opposite to that is what the limiting friction will be acting. I think problem is not over. I have to come like this. This will be the weight mg and this is fz, no? So the resultant force will be how it will be somewhere in this direction. I'll make this alpha. What is the F external now? F external should be equal to, what are the axes, no? These are the y and z, minus y and z. So F external should be equal to z-axis, yeah, minus mg j cap plus fz k cap. Mg will be how much? 20 j cap. Fz is how much? 10. 6 Newton. So calculate that angle. Okay, fine. So how to calculate tan alpha? Tan alpha should be equal to mg by fz. Mg will be 20 by 6. This will be 10 by 3. This will be the alpha. Opposite to this is what I should show the direction of friction. And how much it will act? FL. Got the idea now? So in fact, it is sliding and it will have acceleration in this direction. Got this? So this little bit three-dimensional, you have to be careful. So that mg and f2, the effective, that is what I'm showing it here. Where is the wall? There's a wall. The background is the wall. So how to calculate that acceleration now? Acceleration will be F external minus FL by M. Do calculation. I'll move to the next concept. One more is there. Okay, fine, all of you. So the three-dimensional, you have to make that problem into two parts. In each plane, show the forces, then you get a basic picture. Just I think instead of all this, you just take some box, press against the wall, apply one force perpendicular to wall, other force parallel to the wall. So how is Fx? So if I make it things a little bit easier, no, Fx, how it will act? Perpendicular to wall. Tell me how Fz will act. Parallel to wall. Finish or nothing big. Got the idea? So let's take now another situation. There are two blocks are there. Till now what happened, vertical wall, I kept only one block. So let me keep two blocks. I'll apply a force of 40 Newton. Both the surfaces are rough. M1 equal to the first, this will be M1 equal to 2 kg, M2 equal to 4 kg, mu equal to 0.6. You have to find out the acceleration of the block, friction acting at all surfaces. Okay, fine. So this is rough. This is also rough. We have to calculate the acceleration and friction acting at both the blocks here. So again, the same thing. We applied a force. We are not sure like slipping will occur at both the places, or both will be at rest, or M2 will be at rest, M1 will slide down. So what are the possibilities here? Let's check what are the possibilities. Both will be at rest, or both will move. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Okay, now let me begin here. So what are the, I think 5 possibilities are then. What is that? Both will be attached, both will move together down, or M2 slides, or M2 slides, M1 attached, or M1 attached, M2 slides, or what will happen? Both will move with different acceleration. So 5 possibilities are there, not 1, 2. How to check it? Yes. So what is the best practice here? What is the best way of doing this problem? Let's assume that both will happen slide together with same acceleration. We'll check the static friction, we'll check the friction acting. If the friction is greater than limiting, then slipping occurs. There's a question. I'll begin with this. Okay, let's begin the. So what is the first assumption? That the first assumption. So I'm just starting like this. Let no slipping. Let both the blocks move together vertically down. So why you are assuming? Say I should solve the problem, no? I should assume any one situation. I assume like this. So let the acceleration of both the blocks be same. Let it be. So we'll go for now the forces acting M1G. Then M2G. And then what about the frictional forces? How we have to show that? So there should be the friction on the block M1. The friction, this one, and the friction here on the wedge, also on the block M2. The friction on the ground will be like this. There will be normal contact. This will be N1. This will be N1. This will be N2. This will be N2. So these are all assumptions we made. We assume that both will have same acceleration. This is something very important, which we assumed it. Sir, you didn't give in the problem. So what was the question asked here? Find the acceleration of the blocks. Find the acceleration of blocks. I don't know. If I get acceleration negative, what does it mean? Will they move up? No, they'll be attached. Blocks cannot slide up here, not possible. Only what is the possibility then? They can attach there or they can slide vertically down. Okay, let's do one thing. First, we'll calculate the normal reactions. What can be the normal reactions equal to? N1 minus F equal to 0. So therefore, what is N1 equal to? 40 Newton. Then look at the block M2. Net force on the block along x-axis should be 0. So N2 minus N1 equals 0. So therefore, N2 minus 40, 0, or N2 equal to 40 Newton. Now, what are the limiting values? F1L should be equal to mu N1. Mu is how much? 0.6.
24 Newton, sir.
Yeah. 24 Newton. This will also be same because the mu is same, no, for both the surfaces. The mu is same. Okay, fine. Now we have this in. So let's write equation. Now there's nothing big. We have to just write the equation. So who will make the block to move down? M1G minus F1 equal to M1A. Or directly, can you calculate total acceleration of system? What is the net external force acting on system? This F1 will become internal. What is the total acceleration of system? m1g plus m2g minus f2 by m1 plus m2. Total acceleration of system, I'll write it, or individual. m1g minus f1 equal to m1e. Then m2g plus f1 minus f2 equal to m2. You add up these two. So the acceleration will be m1g plus m2g minus f2 by m1 plus m2. The third equation you could have written directly. No. So what is it? They move together. So it shall I assume here F2L or F2? F2L. Why F2L? Anybody? I think there's a test. They will move together means there's no slipping between M1 and M2, but there should be slipping between M2 and wall. So therefore, there should be a limiting friction. Sir, why you are changing now F2L? Because what are the assumptions we made? Let both the block move together vertically down. Both the block move together vertically down means no relative motion between them. So what friction acts will be static. So what is the assumption? F1 will be static. And F2 will be limiting. There's a meaning, no? The assumption of this. Okay, let's proceed here. Anybody value of acceleration?
1.4, sir.
6, sir.
6 meter. Yeah. So shall I say my problem got over? So shall I say that, okay, sir, we got answer. Thank you very much. We'll go for next problem. We have to cross check that F1, no? What we assume static. Is it really static is what we have to cross check. So now, so what we have to do is it my answer right or wrong? I should go for cross check. What is a cross check? I'll write it here now. Cross checking it. I'll look at the block M1. M1G minus F equal to M1E. M1 is how much? 2 kg. 2 into 10. F1 2 into 6. So this will be 20 minus F1 equal to 12. F1 how much I'm getting? 8 Newton. But what is the maximum permitted value of F1L? 24 Newton. So what my assumption is right or wrong? I'm showing complete problem. Just do make observation. I got F1 less than F1L. So therefore, the assumption is correct. Getting the idea, all of you? The same block upon a block concept is what we are applying it here. Nothing big. The assumption is correct. So therefore, what is the conclusion? No slipping between the blocks M1, M2 and slipping occurs between the block M2 and wall. All of you got it? Just try to see that. Just the same idea what we had earlier. No? If A relative 0, the friction will be static. If A relative non-zero, the friction acting will be limiting. That's what we are just revolving around the same core idea. Almost everywhere we are bringing it here. Nothing big. So rather than solving some 100 numericals, the core idea, if you know how to apply finish or you can manage anything. Got it now? I'll just change value. F equal 40 Newton. No, let me make 120 Newton. You see, things will be a little bit different here. Shall I go for next one? Last, I think some 10 minutes time is there. We can conclude. The same numerical, the same data, everything. I'll make force 120 Newton. Two kg, 4 kg, 0.6. All of you, are you getting now? It's not like something you have to just do one problem. You have to analyze. You have to analyze. This is what the students at your age you find very difficult. If you can develop, you can really master the physics very easily. What we do, we just take the question. Once we get answer, we are coming out. We are not analyzing it. We are not analyzing it. This what there what makes a difference. This is 2 kg, M2 4 kg, mu 0.6. Both are mu. Now directly get into the problem. There's a given thing. Find acceleration of blocks. I think we have the same old information. F1L equal to F2L is equal to how much? 24 Newton. There's the limiting frictions values. The same data earlier. What we have now? The same thing I'm continuing. The same diagram. So normal contact N1, N1, N2, N2.
Sir, F1L and F2L will change, no sir? Forces change.
Your limiting friction will be okay. This one, so sorry. This one. This will be. I'll calculate it. So it should be equal to 0.6. Anybody value?
72.
72, sir.
72 Newton. Okay, fine. Yeah. M2G. I'm in a hurry to finish our problem within that time limits. No. What about the direction of friction? Again, as usual. This will be F1. This will be F1. Here I'll assume, and I'll assume that they will slide down. They will have same acceleration.
Sir,
Yeah.
we can first calculate the F net, no, sir. I mean,
It's left to my any method. Huh? Any method. It's not that you should think like me only. At a problem given, what's better to this? Like I'll just work out the problem here. So what is the total acceleration again? I'll proceed like this. The total acceleration will be M2G plus M1G minus F2L by M1 plus M2. This will be 40 Newton, 20 Newton, 72 Newton by 2 plus 4. I got acceleration here negative minus 2 meter. What do you mean by negative?
if the friction is greater than the gravitational force.
No. That can never. Blocks can they move up?
The limiting friction, sir.
No. The blocks cannot move up. No. That's why I said like no sir, it will move. You do one thing. Just now only you just press the notebook against the wall. You press how much of R you want to. It will never move. 1 block, 2 blocks, 3 blocks, anything it will be. Just take 2 notebooks, press against the wall. How much if R you press it, they'll never move up. So this is not possible. Huh?
Yes, sir. Not possible.
I just picked up a data so that you can have a clarity. Huh? This is not possible. So then what is possible? The blocks will be at rest. So what do you mean by A negative? A equal to minus 2 meter per second square means, in fact, the blocks cannot slide up. Therefore, they will be at rest. Got it? I want the frictional force acting here. I think this is wrong, no? So what will be assumed? Wrong assumption. So what I should do, I'll make correction. So what is the correction now? What is the actual diagram? Finally, what happens? Physics is not just getting answer for a question. You have to analyze, you have to fight. What will happen if this is thing? So this not like something teachers should say. Teacher will give the ideas. The student in every problem like this conditions will come. So physics is not doing many problems. Physics is about doing a question and analyzing it for various conditions. What will happen here? It takes time. It may trouble you, but gradually will improve a lot. So I'll just put friction like this. F1, can it balance M1G? Because what is the conclude? They will be attached. Blocks must be attached. So F1 can balance mg. So F1 minus mg equals 0. So what is F1? Mg is how much? 2, 20. So F1 equal to 20 Newton. Let's pause. Let's come for F2. Let's come for F2. So what is F2? F2 should be, F2 will balance minus F1 minus M2G equals 0. What is F1 value? 20 Newton. M2 value? 40. So F2 is equal to how much? 60 Newton. Still no problem, no? So what is this F2, F1? They're acting static or kinetic? They are static only. Less than F1L. So therefore, F1, F2 are static. And what is the state of blocks? And blocks are at rest. Okay, all of you. So this is the conclusion of our answer. This will be our answer. Just by changing the magnitude of force, things became different. The same problem. The earlier the friction were total problem. I'm displaying it. Got the idea? So you have to fight with the problem. There's no other way. See, the physics, what happened, just not like again theory. Some of you have a very good practice of what, like reading theory again and again, and you are in perception that if you read more theory, concept clarity will come, then you can solve any problem. I think it's a stupid idea. Totally stupidity, that one. You read any number of times, go back and read friction, the first topic any number of times, you can't solve this problem. So then how to manage such thing? Problem solving skill will come by solving problem only. As you keep on learn different numericals, then clarity of concepts will come. So in physics, what do you mean by concepts? Concepts is all about solving different numericals. When you solve different numericals only, the clarity of concepts come. All these are Pathfinder only. Yeah? Tomorrow we'll focus on Pathfinder problems. Tomorrow few. Actually, I'll be very happy if students solve Pathfinder, because you want to become engineer. Past some almost 15 years, I'm solving that book. Earlier, the same book was in some other way. 2 volumes were there. Past 15 years, we are solving the problem. If I solve, the benefit will be less. If student puts effort and solves, we do have a student who has solved 90% of the book. It's not that only teacher can solve it. I've seen students not taking any teacher's help, 90% of numericals they are able to solve. I do have almost around 90 to 95% I solved it. All they are available with me in Google Drive. All that question, particular solution I updated digitally. But I feel like until the students don't struggle with a question, no, so no way what happen will climb up. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss some Pathfinder questions. Some around 6 questions are there. Very beautiful one. The new concept, what we had, no, little bit some good ideas are there in that. I will focus on that one. Okay, thank you all of you. So
Thank you, sir.
we'll meet.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Okay, we'll see tomorrow, all of you. Thank you, all of you. Tomorrow I'll discuss types of frictions, everything. Tomorrow we'll conclude this chapter.